This is professionalism.
You need to get a little closer to the.
This is
There
professionalism.
Guys, just imagine what we can do with desks.
The world doesn't even know. The day we have desks, I don't like this.
I know it's just hold it.
Just relax. Your posture is amazing, by the way. Andrew, do you see his posture right now?
Yeah, but I don't
No
like
need.
to use it.
No need for chiropractic work when you have posture like that.
There we go. This is not awkward at all. This is perfect. All right, testing. Perfect. All right, welcome to the Strong Side Update Show. This is our second podcast. The first one had such raving reviews. I think tens of people tuned in. It was out of control, so we had to do a second one immediately. And really what we're trying to do is we're trying to bring just different ways to consume our content. Like some people like Facebook, some people like Instagram, some people like podcasts, great. So the last Friday of every month, we have been doing a Strong Side update show. It's super fun, super cool. And this one, you're hearing it live right now in our Facebook group, and that's awesome. And it's also going to be downloaded into a podcast, and we'll recycle that out probably like on Monday or so for those of you guys that aren't tuning in. If millions of people around the world want to listen to our podcast, like that's amazing, but we're not really starting this podcast, at least right now, with any intent other than, our current members of StrongSide. What we're trying to do is how do we communicate with you better? How do we communicate with you faster? How do we answer all your questions? How do we give you everything that you want and need? That's what we're after. So every bit of this is just to give some value add to you guys. All right. So there's that. So that was the intro. All right.
Good.
Here's what we're going to do. First off, it's really bugging me that I can't see the Facebook Live. So for those of you guys listening to this on a podcast, hang on 1 second. I'm going to click a button. Great. All right, there we go. Okay, so here's what we're trying to do is, like I said, we're trying to, make this super cool podcast, give you a bunch of information. And every month we're going to be going over all the different updates that we have in the gym, whether that's our intramural competition that we have next month, or whether that's the 6-week reset that we have going on right now. A bunch of cool stuff. But I am really, really excited for this one, because this one is going to bring a lot of information and a lot of value and a lot of cool stuff to you guys, because it's all about Strong Side Nation, right? So definitely stay tuned to this whole thing, because we're going to be dropping some bombs throughout this deal, and I think you're going to like it. And we might even just be getting rid of all the weights and buying ellipticals. I mean, you don't even know. So it could be, but probably not.
Wow. He told everyone already.
Yeah, I know. Came out of the gate swinging.
Well, there we go.
So here's what I want to do first is, I know that you guys know that we have this amazing team here, but sometimes I don't know if it's been communicated of kind of what they do or where we're going with it and stuff like that. So we have some full-time employees, we have some part-time employees, but everybody here is one team. And a lot of these guys are in charge of their own departments per se, or these things that they do. And you might not even know that, or you might not even know what we're trying to get with it. Like all the time people ask Matt, hey, what do you do here? And he's like, oh my God.
I have a room upstairs.
I do so much. And that's okay. So the first thing we want to do is talk about who these guys and girls are, what they do, what their goal of their position is, and what they're trying to bring StrongSide to, and what they're trying to bring to you. So we are going to start with Amber.
Hello, I am Amber. Ashley and I sat next to each other, so.
They're two separate people.
Yeah, believe it or not, right? Yeah.
And it's okay. It's a compliment if you say I'm Ashley, so I just will nod and smile. So I work here in member services, and I am in charge of everything from the whole life cycle of a member. So from the very beginning, someone interested in coming in and checking out the gym, making sure that they're able to reserve a class, and then following up with them, making sure that they had a great experience here. And then all of our events and all the things that we're going to be doing in the future, which I'm really excited about. And just making sure that our members have not just a great experience, but really feel the value. They feel that this is the place that they want to be. And I know for me, that's how I felt when I was here. And I just want other people to feel the same way. So my whole goal in member services is making sure that people feel that when they come in.
Freaking love it. One thing I want you to touch on, you don't have to go into super great detail, but I know that, yes, we would love for you to have an amazing experience here, but it goes a little bit deeper than that. I mean, we have one thing that we've been focusing on over the last couple of months, and I think in the next couple of weeks, we're really going to be able to push it, is our touch points throughout every member. And we don't need to explain every touch point of what we're trying to do and stuff like that, but we have broken it down to touch points for the gym, which is like our annual formal where the whole gym gets together. That's a yearly touch point. And a touch point for a member, which would be like celebrating their birthday every year.
Right.
So what are we trying to do?
Right. Well, I think that we want our members to, feel valued, doing special things like on your birthday, getting a, discount for a t-shirt, or on your anniversary, whether it's been 1 year, 2 year, but making you feel like, thank you for, being a Strong Side member. And as well as I'm excited about some things like I want to do a quarterly newsletter, and where I know that a lot of our members have, businesses, and being able to, advertise in the sense of like, hey, we want to let everybody know what we all do. And, featuring, I know we've done different things like featuring the member of the month, but really making it, more like community and really knowing who you're working out with and getting to know people better in that. So.
Yeah. And I think it's super important because I tell you guys all the time, what we do and what makes StrongSide super cool is not snatches and burpees. If that was all that we did, you could go anywhere and do that.
Right.
Our coaching and our community and being able to articulately break down what we do with our members, that's what makes you guys feel special. Because you can go sweat and burn calories anywhere.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Awesome. Now, Mrs. Ashley. So Ashley's up next.
Wait, this is Ashley?
Yes.
I thought that was Ashley.
Yeah, wait, who did I talk to today?
It's fine. And if you think I'm Amber, and I'll
Get closer to the mic.
I'll just continue the conversation, and I'll just relay the information to Amber.
Even closer.
Even closer.
There
okay.
you go.
These are new, these mics. So we're just
Adjusting
and learning how to use them, which is awesome. We only get better, though, the more we practice. So
We need the little button.
it also comes with sound effects, but
Do you sell these mics, Ashley? Or?
Please sell me on these mics.
when we get to play around with them, these are going to get like super, super entertaining. This is only the surface right now.
Can't wait.
It's only going to get worse.
Or better. Okay, so I'm Ashley, and I handle all of the back-end operations of StrongSide. If you think of StrongSide as a tree, and all the show and the fun is the leaves and the fitness, I am the roots. I'm the part that you don't see, but I kind of hold it all together. And what that looks like practically for you guys is building systems such as Wodify. I did do a lot with Zen Planner, but we don't do that anymore. Customizing it to make sure it serves its purpose and is easy for you guys to use, and you guys have the tools you need to be able to track your workouts, to be able to use the facility and get the most out of your experience here at StrongSide. I also get to work hand in hand with the whole team here on multiple things. If somebody has a member services question, then I know who to go to. If somebody has a specific coaching or nutrition question, I know who to go to. So I think it's very important to be very well-rounded and knowing everybody's roles, so I can definitely get you guys to the right place or the right answers for anything that you may need.
Yeah, and I can.
Thank you, Picasso.
If she dies, this thing's over. Like it's over. That's what she is, the tree roots. And it's kind of like one of those things when, you just show up every day and you're like, oh look, the place is clean. You show up every day and you're like, oh look, I was billed right. Or team members like, oh look, I got paid today. Like. There's toilet paper here. Like, think of it, the lights are on. Like, it doesn't matter what it is. You just show up and you're like, sure was a great day today. That's who's responsible for it right there. Is because other than that, I can't even keep my own life together. So.
Oh, yeah, but it's a lot of fun. I love being able to do it for you guys. It's so much fun. I really love it.
Because you've been here the longest. out of anybody. Cause you came in, what was it? I don't know, 3 days before the gym closed down. That was a fun time.
Oh,
But,
yeah.
I was like, I promise we're cool. Keep hanging out. But what's been some memorable moments so far? Like some cool projects you've been able to undertake?
Like the permanent ones, or when we had to improvise?
Anything. You've seen us at our worst and
Okay.
you've seen us at our best.
Well, I would say that my knowledge in like IT has really expanded. That was an unexpected treat. Knowing how to like hook up things and things that you can do on the computer as far as like social media and doing podcasts. That was completely new to me. So that was really, really cool. I've had the pleasure of coaching some of you guys on Zoom before. That's a lot of fun. I love doing that too. I love seeing people reach their goals. So much fun. Wodify was a big undertaking. There's a lot of you, and I got to put all of you in there one by one.
One by one.
It was a lot of fun. So I may know your name, but not your face. And that's why it's not because I'm creepy.
And Ashley just got her L1, and she can maybe talk about that for a second. And that's what she means about being the tree roots. Is it's not like she didn't go get her L1 with the necessary intent of starting coaching. It was more like, look, if I'm going to be the foundation of this thing, if I'm going to understand how every aspect of this thing runs and understand how to, utilize the motor on this ship. Well, I need to go through all the training to be able to do that. So how was that experience?
Oh yeah, it's great. I think it's very important to have a baseline knowledge. Obviously these guys are the experts, but to have like a baseline knowledge of like, okay, if we were to, look to recruit somebody else, I could be resourceful in that aspect by saying, okay, this person actually has I know what to look for as far as training and coaching to an extent. I can at least help them find somebody. So, but yeah, StrongSide is really something special.
And she always smiles like that. All the time.
Yeah. If I'm having a bad day, I'll let you know.
I've yet to see it.
Yeah, me too. And that's good. That's good. All right, man. And then there's Mr. Matt Morgan Freeland,
Hey, that's
who
me.
is not Morgan Freeman.
I wish. My voice almost sounds like him on the mic.
I don't know if I ever told it does, but I don't know if I ever told you. Just like I literally thought that your name was
Morgan Freeman.
Yeah, like I was like, oh,
Yeah, I wish.
you just don't look related.
Yeah, we're distant relatives.
Okay. So what do you do here other than nap a lot?
I wish. I wish I could nap.
No, I'm just kidding. Everybody's like, what do you do? And I'm like, dude, that guy does everything.
So I guess are we titling it like director of training?
So we don't really. Well, I mean, I'm sure. Yeah, there you go. Maybe
Yeah,
that's what we
cool.
call it. We're figuring the thing out as we go. You are
Yeah. So I'm
king of training.
King of training. That's what we'll call it for now. So I'm in charge of the coaching aspect side, and anything you see come out through Wodify, anything that you guys do on the gym floor, that's coming from me. And communicating that to coaches as we bring on more coaches. That will all run through me, and how to onboard these guys to make sure that whenever they come on, that they're up to our standard. Like, we don't want someone on the gym floor that sucks. I guess that's a nice way to put it.
I totally agree with that, and that could be. Can you touch on where the industry is and where we're trying to bring it to?
Yeah. So a lot of times if you walk into a gym, right, and I've had this experience at several CrossFit gyms or gyms in general, a lot of times you walk in, coach will greet you, say hi, take you through a warm-up, or sometimes they'll be like, hey, this is the warm-up, go in your little corner, do your thing, and then they'll go through like the class, and that's your experience. And you're like, well, I got a lot out of that today. And we want to almost, I guess, professionalize coaching and want to make it something that is, for coaches, they feel a part of the community and feel fully invested in what goes on here every single day. Because if you're not fully invested in what goes on here every single day, these people don't care about you. We want them to care about you, not just in the gym, but outside the gym. Like, if you're having a bad day or having a bad week, I want these coaches to care and like be like, hey, are you okay? Like, is everything okay? Just reach out. Like, it goes beyond the gym floor. It goes outside these doors too. And that's kind of the environment we're trying to build. And I'm in charge of kind of finding those people to build that community.
I'm excited. So
Thanks.
what if like Like, so how does it work right now if somebody wants to work here? Like, what's our process for coaches before we ever even give them any sort of a job offer? What happens?
So what kind of happens right now is, or what is happening actually as we speak, is they come in, they meet with Mitchell and I, and as they meet with Mitchell and I, we try to then get them into a class to shadow some classes, or do the class actually. They'll do like 1 or 2 classes depending on how involved they are with the community already. They'll do 1 or 2 classes. After that, we'll kind of bring them back. We'll kind of debrief them, and then they'll start co-teaching classes. So you start seeing these people co-teach shadow classes. And what co-teach means is, like, kind of, if you guys remember, whenever I started, Mitchell had like me just shadow him 1 full day where I was just here hanging out, getting to know everybody. And then after that, it was like, he would teach a part of the class, I would teach a part of the class, or I would teach, like the warm up and go hang out with everybody, talk to them as the class goes on.
Yeah. So so they got to send in their resume and apply and all that. Then we have to see which ones are good, which ones are not. They have to come in and meet with us. And then if that goes good, then they're just going to come in and hang out. We're going to see how they communicate with people.
Yep.
And then they're going to go teach classes. And then if they're good, well, first off, they have to meet with at least 3 of us so we can get like different people's viewpoints, stuff on that. Because that is so important. When we talk about what makes StrongSide different, it's the coaching atmosphere and it's the community involvement. Like, that's so much of what we do.
Yeah, because I always tell people is like, and I always use this, is like, I can teach people how to coach. I can't teach you a personality.
Yeah, we can't teach you how to care.
Yeah.
You either like them or you don't.
Yep, exactly.
What things are we doing? So because you've spent a ridiculous amount of time building these training manuals and onboarding these people and stuff like that. And I know he just kind of touched on it. I mean, I've been in the fitness space my entire adult life. And let me just tell you how much you don't need any type of certification to be a trainer in Georgia. Most of them are 100%.
Really anywhere.
Yeah, really anywhere. I just know Georgia for sure.
Yeah.
You don't need any type of licensure. You don't need any type of certification. It's usually some type of small hourly wage or, 100% commission where they get really frustrated. I know I worked in those environments forever. There's no like full-time, this is your base salary, this is what you're trying to do, like a real full-time employee. And that's what we're trying to do with our coaches. So what have we done with our training manuals and systems processes to make sure that the quality from 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. is the exact same thing?
So kind of what we do and where we started was we actually have a job leveling criteria. Is as you come on, depending on the certifications you have and the amount of experience you have within the field, like we care about certifications. Like certifications, yes, do matter, but it's not the end all be all. You can be an L3 coach, which is like way up high in CrossFit, and suck. Like, cool, you have a certification that just means you paid probably like $3,000, sat through these seminars and done it probably at a crappy gym, and you might suck as a coach. Cool. Like, you can have an L3 and suck, or you can have like an L2 or L1 and be a great coach. Like, we don't just look at certifications, we look at everything that you've done in the past and how you coach, how you interact with people. And the job manuals that we have and job descriptions kind of paints that picture for everyone that we onboard. And with those onboarding and leveling criteria, that's kind of how we come up with their salaries. Like, a lot of these full-time people that as we bring on are going to be on salary positions, or they're going to get paid more than they've ever been paid in their last gym, because we want to make them care about you guys. Like, if they're not getting paid well, because we have to take care of our people as well. Like, if you don't take care of your people within these 4 walls, they're not going to care about what goes on in this gym.
Yeah, and that's a huge deal because what we're looking at it as, we're not saying, hey, we have this many classes a day, we need to hurry up and get those things covered. That's not what we're trying to do. We're trying to look at the quality and the efficacy of what is actually provided inside those classes. And when Matt's saying like this person might suck or they might not suck, what we're really saying is their ability to engage with people, their ability to extract emotions from them. Like, I'll tell you right now that we tell our coaches that their coaching job, it's probably 20% actual coaching. Like, hey, do this, move faster. The other 80% is what you're doing to engage with them, to listen to the 20%. Yep. How do you command the room? What are you able to triage situations and say, this is what's wrong, this is what we need to fix, how am I going to coach this class versus this class? It is very, very emotional, and it's very articulate, and we set up our rooms like this on purpose so we can extract that.
Oh yeah, I mean, empathy is a real thing. Like, you have to have a lot of empathy for what you do. And to do this, you have to have empathy for everyone that comes in these doors. You have to care. If you don't care, we don't want you. Simple, sweet.
Boom.
It's like a Sour Patch Kid.
Yeah.
That's what I say all the time.
All right, man. So I hope you got to meet this wonderful team, and then they are in charge of anybody that might be working with them at their department and stuff like that. And then let's just talk about what I do. So not much.
Yeah. What do you do?
I coach a couple of classes and stuff like that. So I'll tell you this. So StrongSide has been open. So some of you guys have just started. Some of you guys have been here forever. I love the fact that people come in and they're just like, like somebody asked me the other day, how long you been here? I was like, oh, a little bit. Like,
I'm the new guy.
and I'm like, that's awesome. But I personally have taken it as far as I can take it. Like, literally, I can't coach any more classes, not because I'm tired. There's not enough hours in the day. I can't do any more administrative work. Like, it's done. I'm completely tapped out. Not because I'm tired, just physically. There's not. So that's where these guys come into play, and they've taken over a lot of the roles and a lot of the responsibilities to multiply that time and try to grow it. And what I'm trying to do is spend a lot of time in our core values and our core competencies and see what we can do to scale out. Because StrongSide I didn't get into the fitness space with the intent of opening a gym. Some of our members have actually been training with me for 10 years. That's awesome. Shout out to you guys. But StrongSide's only been open 6 3/4, almost 7. If you would have met me 8, 9, 10 years ago, I know that people had told me to go open my own gym, and I would say no, because I didn't have the vision created. I didn't understand what I wanted to do. I was like, I can't compete with this, but I was looking at it wrong. I was looking at it wrong because it was like, you have to go open a physical gym. And it was really about helping people. And, maybe we do another podcast around my story so you can understand it a little bit more. But I have a really terrible past of what I thought about myself and where I came from, and really on a mission to help other people. It just started to look like a gym. So when we say that we offer workout classes, that's a very small piece of what we do. What StrongSide's real mission and common purpose is to help people and to create a community and an environment where you feel safe and welcome. There's a reason that we know your name when you walk in, and there's a reason that we say your name when you leave, and there's a reason that our gym is organized in a certain way and that our ceilings are 11 feet, and then you walk out to the fitness floor and it's 25. There's a reason that our boards are placed in the middle of the room and the rig is set up for the middle of the room, and it's to neutralize anxiety. And when you can neutralize anxiety, you can give people certainty, and it makes you feel comfortable and it makes you feel welcome. And you have to look at why people would come into the gym. And people would come into the gym because they're probably not satisfied of where they're at, and that's okay. They want to get better, but they don't really know how to get better. They have all these questions, but they don't have answers to these questions. And they have all these problems that they think are oversimplified to solve, like eat less and exercise more. And maybe that works for some and not others, and whatever. But we're trying to give you a platform to be successful. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to bring on amazing people, put them in their roles, and then get out of their way, because they're that good and they're going to go dominate their space. So that's what I'm trying to do. And that's my job here, is to create some sort of vision or some sort of path. And what that really leads to is some sort of expansion, right? So you're only going to be able to do so much, and then you have to understand what the next level is. And, some of you guys listening to this have known me for the entire longevity of StrongSide. And even though things change, one thing that I preach to these guys all the time, and I preach to our entire team, is that you need to be stubborn in the vision and flexible in the details. Because if you're hyper focusing on the details, like, are we going to use Wodify or Zen Planner? I don't know, whichever one works better. What do they like? Go with that one. Those are small little details. The vision is what needs to stay clear. And the vision is that a lot more people need our help. The vision is that you have these stories all the time of where you bring friends into the gym and you're like, oh man, this changed my life. It changed my friend's life. My friend is so happy. I was not in a good place in here. Go look at our members group where you're streaming this video right now. It's full of stories of people that had, depression or different outlets or came from not so good situations and they wanted to get better. And what we want to do is bring that to other people. So we have to look at our core competency, and our core competency right now is definitely not online. We tried it. I'm not saying it didn't go good for you guys, but it's not something that we could understand or break out into. And what we really understand is brick and mortar locations. And we really understand how to streamline classes and offerings. And we really understand what our members need and what they want. And we understand that because we listen to you. And the surveys that we send out and the questions that we ask, they're very intentional. So you guys have known for a while that we've been looking at opening another location. And that's part of what this announcement is and what we're going to do and how we're going to move forward and defining these guys' roles so they understand, so that you understand how this thing is even going to work, right? And then we'll talk about what we're going to do to make you feel valued and important throughout the whole thing. So we are going to open some stuff, and let's talk about that stuff. So yeah. So you guys know we looked in East Cobb. All right. And because before we even announce anything, everybody's going to be like, what happened to East Cobb? All right. So East Cobb was awesome. And Amber actually did a good bit of the research and found some really good locations. And we went in there and I presented an offer. And I'm a really hard negotiator. So like, I just like, this is the deal. And then we push the deal. Like there's not a whole lot of wiggle room. So we went pretty far on the negotiations, me, my realtor, and them. And we were pretty far into the deal, shook hands on it, communicated everything that we wanted, and they agreed that it was going to happen. And then, after the letters of intent were sent and handshakes, they came back and they were like, actually, we're going to go with this other person. And that was really disheartening because I get it. It's a handshake deal, but that's kind of how I operate. I mean, it's just like, you do what you say you're going to do and you stand by your word. And if you promise something, you better deliver. So that's where that went. And they went with somebody because they were a larger company that was going to rent 8 units within their complex. And I was only going to rent 1. So economically, I understood it, but still you shook my hand. So I was a little frustrated about that. But there's that. And then we looked at another place in East Cobb, and it was like right next door. And I wasn't really set on going outside of a certain area in East Cobb because I didn't know it really well. And these guys took me around. Amber specifically showed me the whole area. And I was like, I still don't know any more than just this little area. So I just want to go here. And we looked at another area or another spot. And did somebody order food?
Not I.
Hey, none of us ordered this food.
Did someone send us food?
I think we just got free food. All right. Anyways. All right. So back to the story. But so then we went to this other place in East Cobb, and the other place in East Cobb was like 200 meters away, and my buddy owns an Orange Theory in that complex. Shout out, Mike. Way to go, buddy. I know we go back a long time, but I called him and I was like, hey, look, you have a non-compete on this area, and I have non-competes on all my leases. It's a very smart thing to do. But I said, hey, pretty please, can we go in here? Pretty please. And I offered stuff, offered to subsidize his rent for a certain period of time. And dude, he did exactly what I would have done. He said, nope. And I was like, no, we can figure out a way. But in my head, I'm thinking like, yeah, dude, I would have done the same thing. I would have been like, extra no, not going to happen. And he said, no, we have non-competes for a reason. And I understand, blah, blah, blah. And even though I tried to fight it, this is the first time he's hearing it. Assuming he's listening to this podcast. I agree with you, and I would have done the same thing. I can't even argue with it. So that's why East Cobb left. We felt that if we would have moved outside of the area that we felt comfortable with, that our quality of decisions and what we would have been able to do would have gone down. We would have had to probably sacrifice the type of real estate that we would have got. So that's what happened with East Cobb. And there's that. So then we started surveying people. We started asking questions, and we started saying, hey, where would you like to see your next StrongSide location at? And it boiled down to East Cobb, Marietta area. Those got wiped out real quick. And then it boiled down to Roswell and Canton. And we were like, oh, okay, it is clearly dominant of Roswell and Canton. We had to listen to everybody. We had to map all of everybody's members' addresses out and kind of see where it was in location to where we're at, and making sure that we could do this and we weren't going to go too far and all this stuff. So it came down to Roswell and Canton. And there was pros and cons to both. And Roswell on paper looks amazing, like financially and all that stuff. But I have a hard time believing that because people people make a lot of money, that they like doing snatches and burpees. I'm like, that doesn't mean that. You still have to have a really good product or service. So there's that. Do you guys want to say anything about pros and cons of Roswell?
Not really.
No? Okay.
I like Roswell.
And then
There's my pro.
And then we had to look at the pros and cons of Canton. And the pros and cons of Canton were that a lot of people live up there, and it's growing. But I mean, it's growing it from like 40,000 to 50,000, where Roswell is growing from like 90,000 to 95,000. So even though the percentage is smaller, it's of a much larger number. And then a lot of places in Canton are still being built. So, but they extended the highway up there to where people are going to drive through, and they say extended the fast lane on 575 to in there. So there's a lot of good development there. There's a lot of good projects that they might not be immediate, but in the next couple years, 10 to 18 months are probably going to be done and probably, explode a little bit. But do you guys have anything pros or cons on Canton?
I love Canton.
Oh my God.
There's a brewery.
There is a brewery. There's Reformation Brewery.
Like right there.
So we started to go back and forth, and we were like, okay, well, what are we going to do? So then we started looking at lease negotiations. We started looking at like where our opportunity lived. We started looking at where our members are going to be. What can we hold threshold wise? Like what can we do? And it got really challenging. Are you ready? Are you listening? It got really challenging. We couldn't figure out Roswell or Canton.
Drum roll.
Roswell or Canton. What are we going to do? Roswell. Do you have the drum roll app?
Roswell, Canton.
Roswell or Canton.
But then we thought Canton or Roswell.
Why not both?
So we did both.
What? Mic drop. All right, I'm dropping my mic. Bye.
Yeah. So I know. Freaking nuts, right? So yeah, we're opening locations in Roswell, and we're opening a location in Canton. So we're doing both.
We're doing both.
You can just let that sink in.
Both.
Both. Yeah.
1, 2.
Yeah. So StrongSide's about to go from 1 to 3. And as exciting as that is, what we really want to do is we want to take the time to communicate with you on what that's going to look like and how you're going to be felt to be valued and important, and what we're going to try to do to make this as easy as possible. So first, I'm going to just tell you where they're at. So the one in Roswell is more than likely going to open first. I don't see why it wouldn't open first, because it's already an existing location, and they'll start demo next week. And these are done deals, by the way. Lease is signed. It's a 10-year deal. Checks are deposited.
More than a handshake.
Yeah, way more than a handshake.
Yes.
We would not be doing this unless it was a done deal. But so they start demo on Roswell next week. We met with the architects on Wednesday to get a good scope and layout of the location.
It's a pretty sweet location.
It is. It's on South Atlanta Street, right next to Canton Street, right next to Little Alley Steakhouse, which is my favorite steakhouse.
It's really good.
Yeah. But so that location is already existing. They'll start the demo, and then they can build it. The only lag time is it's going to take about 60 to 90 days to get all the permits, like the engineering permits, because the city's just so slow. But I got an expediter, and I didn't even know what an expediter is. Like somebody came to me and they were like, "You need an expediter," and I was like, "That sounds like his name's Vinny, and he's from Jersey, and he's in the mafia." And no, but apparently they push it through and they go faster. So there's that. So I don't see why that would. I don't even understand how that would not open first. We just don't have a date on it. It's probably looking like February, maybe January. I mean, just simple permits and building and stuff like that. It's not even like Mitchell's control. Like, it's just how long that takes. The Canton location is at the Etowah Mill in Canton. And, let's just go ahead and put an asterisk by it. I haven't signed the lease on that place, but it's beyond negotiations. Like it's beyond tours. It's beyond letters of intent. It's beyond everything's done. And even the realtor just texted me and sent me a message from the property owner, and he's like, "Hey, sorry, just because of fall break, we've been a little bit slower. It's 100% done deal." So I guess we could put a little asterisk on it because the papers haven't been signed, but I've been begging to get the papers signed. They actually sent me the lease, but I wanted to revise the non-compete in there. It wasn't to my standards. So it's not even like we haven't seen a draft of the lease. It's just been through that. So somebody just came and got the free food that they delivered to us.
Dang it.
I was like, who gave us lunch?
Subway.
But anyway, so there's that. And I guess we could put a little asterisk by it, but we're not. Canton is definitely happening. There's no way it's not happening. But yeah, so that's at the Etowah Mill in Canton. And That place is probably going to take a little bit longer. I'm thinking, I don't know, February or March even. It's that whole place was a big cotton mill that was used in the 1800s, and then it got bought, and then it shut down all the way until like early 1900s, and then they used it from the early 1900s to 1981. And then in 81, it shut down, and nobody has touched it from 1981 till 2018 when these new developers bought it, and they've been building it up since 2018, and it's going to look basically like the Avalon in Alpharetta. We've seen all the finishing pictures of it. They have a nice grassy area out there. It's like, it's kind of like turf area. Bunch of cool shops. We've been out to the breweries. We've been out to the shops. We've met with the property owners. I've seen their vision. They're building 280 apartment homes on the facility. There's a really, really good growth plan for it, and I'm really excited about it. The opportunity to do two was really just that, just an opportunity, and we felt like we could leverage that opportunity more than opening one. I know that sounds crazy, but they are going to be staggered by a couple months, and it's just really freaking exciting, and that's what we're going to do. But really what we're trying to do, and if you look at it on the map too, it makes a cool little triangle. We're going to call it the StrongSide Bermuda Triangle, and really what I'm going to do is open it up to these guys. And what we don't want to have happen is feel anything that the community was lost, or that we didn't understand our way, or that we didn't understand what we were trying to accomplish. If anything, all of this is in your mind, or with your thought in mind. And I think I want to turn it over to Matt first, specifically because we're talking about the value of this Woodstock location, on the equipment that we were planning on ordering to test at our different locations, what we're going to do with our new hires. Like, this is the Mecca, right? Like, you guys are the founding members of StrongSide, and like before as it becomes really anything, right? And hopefully we don't screw it up. Hopefully it goes amazing, but it's with every bit of what can we do together, and like how cool are our intramural competitions going to be with 3 gyms? Like that's kind of sick.
Amazing.
Right? And we have a really good path and people in charge of maintaining your service, because it's what we understand. That's what we can't lose. We can't lose the streamlined service, the grassroots, like Ashley said. We can't lose our member interaction, like Amber's job. We can't lose our quality of coaching, that at every location, at every single class, at every offering, everything is just, level 10 out of 10. So what are we looking to do, Matt, to make sure that these guys are just well taken care of?
Cool. I'll start with equipment wise, with new equipment. So anything that these new gyms will have, you guys get to use it first. Like, you guys are our testers. We want your feedback. We care about what you think. Like, I just actually had a phone call today with Assault Fitness with bikes, like upgrading the bikes in here and other locations, about possibly different bikes or newer bikes. Having a call, the newer locations will probably have these bikes. They're Assault Fitness Elites. So we're going to actually order a few. They'll be here. You guys are going to try them out. We want your feedback. And with your feedback, we'll either decide like, they're not really worth upgrading, or, we'll just keep it the same as what we have. Barbells as well. I know we ordered that one special barbell. People love it. Only problem is it rusts easily. So we were like, we're not going to probably go with this one. So when we order more barbells, you guys will be the first to know. You guys will test it out. Let us know your feedback. That's equipment wise. Coaches wise, what we are doing is, as coaches come on, the whole onboarding process is going to take place here,
which is at minimum 40 hours, by the way.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. Like, you will see these people. We value your feedback. Like, what you say, if you're like, wow, this coach really is really, really good, we want that. Like, if you have a good experience with that coach, I want to know. Mitchell needs to know. Like, Amber, Ashley, we all need to know about your experiences with these coaches. And even as they're in classes with you and interacting with you, we want to know how they're interacting. Like, you guys, we care about what you guys think, and we want to know everything on your feedback. Like, we're not going to bring on somebody where, half the gym's like, yeah, they're really weird. Like, yeah, no, we don't want that.
And what we're also not going to do is remove anybody. So we understand that it would be way too drastic to our culture to say, oh man, Roswell's opening, okay, Mitchell's leaving or Matt's leaving, because we're not thinking compartmentalized like that.
Yeah.
That this person runs that location. Over time, there might be head coaches at each facility, but it's not. It's like when Matt started here, You know, like we did this on purpose. Matt started here, and he would do a couple classes, and I would stay at the front desk. And people were like, you know, where's Mitchell? Or what's he doing? You know, he's standing at the front desk doing absolutely nothing. So everybody feels comfortable that he's here, right? So it was a steady wean on. And what we're trying to do is get you married to StrongSide, not married to our coaches. Yeah. So we're gonna create like a funnel schedule where
you're going to have coaches, but you're not coming to those classes just because of the coach. You're coming to the class because, that just happened to be with the class that all your friends are coming to. Like, that's the experience we want. We don't want you married to a coach. We don't want you thinking like, I'm only going to go to Mitchell's class because Mitchell gives me feedback all the time on like this, that, and or the other. No, all these coaches will be giving you feedback. Like, the experience from the moment you walk in the door to the moment you walk out the door is the same for every single coach. Boom.
Yeah, and be prepared for these coaches to be better than us, because I
hope so.
I have no ego on being the fittest or the, I like having like abs. That's cool, like ab competitions. But I have.
Do you really?
That's like my thing. My goal is to keep the six pack all year round. So that's like if I had to pick something to be my ego, that's like my only thing. Like I want six pack all year round. But I have no ego on being the strongest, the fittest, being the best coach. I know what I'm good at and what my strengths are. But we need a whole team of people that are way better than us.
No, because I think as you bring on more coaches, that not only levels the gym up, but it levels the coaches up, because you're like, oh crap, this guy's really good. Like if I don't get better, he could have my job. Like, and we all learn from one another. Like there's going to be cues I take from Mitchell. There's going to be cues Mitchell takes from me, and vice versa. Like there's probably cues if Ashley got on the floor, she might say something and be like, what the heck? Why didn't I think of that? Like it's going to happen. Like there's going to be the little things that these coaches bring, because like, for example, like say as of right now, you have me, Mitchell, Alex and Carrie coaching. Like we have cues in our arsenal, but there's only, so far that we can take you. Like we can take you so far, and what we say might not help you fully. All of a sudden we bring in Joe Schmo, and Joe Schmo's over here saying the same thing we did, but in a different light. And all of a sudden a light bulb goes off in your head and you're like, what the heck? Why didn't Matt say that to me? And I'm like, in the corner just being like, wow, I've said that like a million times, but they said it differently and it worked. And that's the cool thing, is as you bring on more coaches, not only are you guys leveling up, we are leveling up as well. Like this is the cool thing about coaching. And the kind of coaches we want to bring on. I don't want to bring on a coach that thinks like, oh my God, I'm the best one in the room. Like, watch out, guys. No, I want a coach that's constantly coming in and wants to learn and get better. And not only from us, but from the members as well.
Yeah, and there's an energy factor to that too, with bringing on more coaches. We don't really want our coaches doing more than 3-4 classes in a row max. I mean, because we're asking so much from them as far as energy and engagement. And like we literally, one thing that we observe our coaches on their coaches scorecard is, do they spend 10 seconds intimately engaging with each person 3 times throughout a 1-hour class? Do you know how hard that is to like really just be on like that hard? And we don't want the quality of that to drop. So that's why we need to bring on more people, so we can keep your energy and your experience higher. Like we're not hiring cheerleaders. We're hiring real people.
Because I can cheer. I can get some pom-poms.
Not that there's anything wrong with being a cheerleader. I'm just
Well, you have to be that as well, a cheerleader plus.
Yes, yeah, yeah. So, bam. But now I want to turn it over to Amber, with the intent being that, okay, let's just make math easy. Let's say you open 3 gyms, you have 900 people. I'm just making up numbers, but like, dude, a big, massive part of StrongSide is how we make people feel and the intimate engagement that we have with them. And literally that everyone is welcome and everyone's equal. And just like Matt said, just because you squat 500 pounds, you are not any better or worse than the person who's never squatted before in their life. And you should be celebrated in your success. And what we're really trying to do is to create like an internal PR system where we're just blowing you up and blowing up our members all the time. So what are we trying to do with our engagement, and what is your goals?
Well, I think my goals, as we move forward, I definitely want you, our members, to feel and understand that like you are coming with us. Like it's not just us 4 doing this. Like you are StrongSide, And especially as we, open Roswell, we need you guys there. We need you there and having that attitude. And because when new people come in, it's like, how do you recreate the culture that we've created here? That's like a huge question, right?
That keeps me up at night.
I know.
But we have a plan.
And definitely one of those ways is to have you already there working out, inviting those people in, and the stories that you have, the Transformation Tuesdays, and not just like becoming fit, but like Mitch was saying earlier about life changing, people getting sober, people changing their lives, growing in their jobs. I mean, when you're happy and content with yourself, not just about the way you look or being able to do 100 burpees in a minute. It's
Wow.
Damn.
Wow. Please let me know.
I think
who
Maria
you are.
did. I don't know. But it really is about when you feel that, then you want other people to feel that around you. And so as we move forward, we want to continue that feeling in every single Strong Side. And so when you walk in Strong Side Roswell, you feel the same exact way when you come to Strong Side Woodstock. When you go to Strong Side Canton, like you feel the same way, like, wow, this really is a community. And this is bigger than just, this gym that started in Woodstock. So I'm excited.
I think that's really good. And the only thing to elaborate on that is like that specific instance is when I was referencing earlier, like, like my job is to, do this, this, and this. Those vague overviews, like they make me nervous because they're vague, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have, what I've been spending a lot of time on with these guys, and we've been doing the Disney leadership training and all this stuff, is actually being able to write that stuff down. Like when we look at our quality assurance and we look at our standards of quality, we need to be able to break down how our coaches and team members should be able to make decisions. What steps are we trying to do to actually engage the community? So I don't want you thinking that it's some mythical, like, oh, we just love everybody. We do, but how do we do that? And we have spent a lot of time being able to write that down to make sure that the quality does not go away. And the only thing, other thing I want to touch on, because she's talking about multiple locations, is because I know we're going to get this question a lot. Your memberships will transfer. So what we're going to do is we're going to run a tiered system of our facilities. So meaning that Roswell will cost more. It will be a more boutique. It might have some different offerings. We've talked about things like towel service or getting a free water bottle when you come in. It has to be more. Like it's just more to be there. All future locations, as of right now, will have showers and HVAC. Oh God. But so there's that. But the exercise classes are going to be the same. So like if you do a Strong Side 60 at Woodstock, you're doing the same workout at Roswell and Canton. So like that can't change the cost. So the amenities would change the cost. Like when you go into the bathrooms at Roswell, you might get like your shampoo included, whatever.
Is there a gold toilet?
There might be, but you are grandfathered in to use all locations, and there'll be a cutoff date where we stop allowing that. Not for you. You're grandfathered in. You're good forever, okay? But I'm just making this up. We might say, okay, anybody who joins before December 1st, your X amount of dollars a month covers you for all the locations. Then after December 1st, if you want to join Woodstock, you'll be allowed to use Woodstock and Canton. And then if you want to use Roswell or all the other locations, it will be this much more. Not insane more, but a little bit more because the offering is going to be a little bit more. But you will be grandfathered in to use all locations all the time, because what Amber was saying, we need that support. We need freaking grand opening night. There's 50, 100 of you there beating down the door.
All of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then now I want to turn over to Ashley with the intent being that, you start throwing a bunch of people, a bunch of locations, there's a lot that could mess up. I mean, she is the tree roots, right? So like what would mess up for you? Workouts not being published, your account not being correct, not being able to get access into multiple classes. Whoops, the lights are on at this place and not the other one. There's so much that you just show up every day and you're entitled to a really great experience, but she makes it easy on the user's end for you to come and show up. So what are you doing? What are your goals? What do we want to do?
Well, Well, I definitely have a lot of attention to detail. I like those somewhat tedious tasks that some people don't like, but I like them.
Like
And
folding all the shirts.
yes, I like folding all the shirts, and I like giving them away. But any sort of tedious task or anything that requires a lot of focus, attention to detail, I really like those kinds of tasks. And that's really important, especially given the kinds of tasks that I need to do. I need to make sure everyone is, accounted for and, charged properly, and all the bills are paid, the fridges are stocked, that you guys have everything you need, and, make sure there's no data entry mistakes and stuff like that. But gosh, obviously one of my main goals is, Amber pretty much nailed it about preserving that culture and carrying that culture with us to these other places. Because think about, anyone that you love or anyone that that, maybe just needs a support system, maybe needs a sense of community. It's not just fitness. Fitness is awesome, but we're more than just a gym. And maybe you've thought about inviting them to StrongSide, but it's just, Woodstock's just kind of not practical. It's not, within a reasonable commute for them. But now we can reach more people with Woodstock and Canton, and it's just going to be great.
And Roswell.
And Roswell.
Yeah.
What did I say? Woodstock?
You forgot Roswell
Yeah.
and Canton.
Okay. Well,
But everything's
the
going to be together,
triangle.
and it's going to be fine.
The
Yes.
triangle of fitness.
Yes. We're just going to be able to reach so many more people with the amazing community that we have, and, all walks of life, all fitness levels. It's just going to be awesome.
Yeah, and these guys have done such a great job. Like, just to give you, like, this didn't just like happen. It was Amber and Ashley sat me down before Matt got here, and they were like, we are legit concerned about being able to operate at the growth rate that we have. So let me tell you how StrongSide works. We were interviewing a coach yesterday out of state who's interested in moving here for StrongSide. That would be kind of cool. But I was trying to explain to him how it works, and he's like, how many members you got and stuff like that. And I was like, dude, how many members we have is our secondary thought. Our primary thought is how often they come. So what we're looking at is raising the lifespan of the member and how frequently they attend. And our metrics for our percentages, and I could break it down for you and stuff like that, but the way that our percentages work, we have this many members, we offer this many classes, on average, this many will come per day. Well, that's a maximum capacity of blank, right? It was starting to kind of redline because we're not built on donations. We're built on where you at and how do we get you in here more. So they met with me and they were like legit concerned, and Ashley's never concerned. And it was like concerned. So I was like, all right, well, that's one thing. And I said, all right, if we can get to this many members in the next 45 days, then I'll do it. And then about 20 days later, Amber was like, we're there. And I was like,
She did it.
oh God. And then I was like, all right, so then we bring on Matt. We're like, okay, I was like, well, what I don't want to do is bring on like 10 coaches and then hire somebody to take care of them. So I was like, I need the man or the woman or whoever first. And so that's why we got Matt. And then we built this whole checklist. And I said, okay, what would be everything that we need to do that? What do we not have right now? Where are our loopholes? And I want to break down every single category of this business and create a checklist around everything that we need to do. And I said, this checklist has to be done in this amount of time. But there were some things that are completely out of our control that I was like, okay, I'll give you that. But these things were in our controls, like system manuals and integration to Wodify and just blah, 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 blah. And I said, this has to be done by this date because we have 2 rules here at StrongSide, 2 serious rules. You never add time and you never lower a target. You never add time and you never lower a target. Because that's just the faster that you can make decisions is going to be that's going to be a direct correlate in your growth and expansion rate. And if you're slowing down your decisions by justifying why you should add time or lower the target because of the situation or the economy, dude, you're screwing yourself. You never add time and you never lower a target. And they hit every single piece on that check mark. And it was like watching just a machine work around the clock. Things that I couldn't even be involved in, things that I couldn't even I could just cast a vision, but I was like, you're gonna have to go. Like, you're gonna have to get it done. And they executed on it perfectly. And that gave me a lot of security that I was like, these guys, not only are they interested, a lot of people are interested, but they're vested and they're capable of actually taking on the task because we will never add time and we will never lower a target. If you've ever seen us move locations, what happens? That sucker opens on time. We do not run late. We will work around the clock. I don't care how many people it takes. I don't care what it costs. We are getting the job done, because to Ashley's job, the experience for the front end user can never be disrupted. You are not allowed to have a disrupted experience. You need to be showing up and just thinking it's freaking pixie dust and magic all the time. Boom.
Boom. Mic drop.
So, I don't know. You want to end with questions? Anybody asking questions on there? Is anybody asking any questions?
Not yet.
Would
Haven't
you
pulled up.
Would you like to ask questions? Because
Anybody? Questions? Going once?
you definitely. So we'll talk for a second before you have questions. But I think you should ask questions, because we've been talking about this like every day for so long. I'm already open. I'm like in my head, we already have 3 locations and like solving those problems, because we just talk about it all the time. Do any of you guys have anything else you want to say or add, or you got to have something?
Not really. I just want you guys to know how much we really do value your feedback. And like, if there's anything we can do better, even as of now, I want you guys to let us know. Because if you don't let us know now, we're going to drop the ball in the future. So just keep us updated. Let us know what we can do better.
Yeah. What is it? The old CEO of T-Mobile. He's a cool guy. His name's John something.
John Legary.
Yeah. So they put him, I was just thinking about this. He said a screenshot of it. They apparently have a T-Mobile like Hall of Fame or whatever. And they put up all this stuff about him, and they have a quote from him. And they were like, how did you grow it? Because he did take T-Mobile from like nothing to a little bit more than nothing. And it said, listen to your employees, listen to your customers, then shut the up and do what they tell you.
Facts. Boom.
I mean, that's what we're trying to do.
We're just trying to make it better. Because
Do
of
you
you
guys
guys.
have anything? Does anybody want to talk? I mean, I mean, you can say whatever you want, but then I'm thinking like, does anybody want to expand on that aggressive culture? I mean, like literally when we hire people, I tell them that this is a 24/7, 365 hustle culture.
Yeah, I guess I could start with that, because I came from the outside and came in. Because
Yeah.
I came from like and I'm not trying to, I won't throw shade at any gyms that I've been into and, the gym experience. And when I actually reached out to Mitch, I even told him, I was just like, look, this isn't a hobby for me. This is like my career. Like, this is how I paid my bills. Like, I don't think people realize that, but this is how I pay my bills. And so when I reached out to him, and I was at a gym where it was just like, hey, come in, coach your classes, go home. Like, I was like, it just, something was missing. And like, when I walked in here, granted, I've only been here, I don't know if you guys realize this, I've only been here 3 months. I feel like I've been here
saved our life.
forever. Like, it's nuts. It hasn't even really been 3 months. It's only been like 2.5. But like, I feel like I'm fully invested. And, when I walked in these doors, I even said it the very first day, because I met with Mitchell first. And then I think I sat down with Amber, but I had to take a class. And then, I coached the class. I coached 2 classes, and I was late, but we won't talk about that. But anywho, I met with Amber after the class, and it was crazy. Like, while I was in that class, you would think I had been here for like weeks and like everything, because how open everyone was, and like how, they were so inviting and how welcoming everyone was. Just being like, hey, what's your name? Like, that's not something that we can teach people. Like, I'm never going to tell a member, hey, go talk to this person, because you need to. Like, no, I like it. Literally, it's the culture that's built and bred in here. And like, that's what we want at every location. And that's not something we can teach. That's something that you guys have created. And these members weren't just, they started with this guy, just this guy alone. And then whatever team he had. And then these guys came on to assist, and it's just getting better and better. And it like, the culture is completely different than any gym. If you walk, and I'm not going to throw shade to next door, but if you walk in next door, it's going to be a completely different experience.
You're clearly talking about Atlanta Custom Wraps.
Yeah, exactly.
Clearly.
Atlanta Custom Wraps. Like, if you walk into there, you're not going to get any fitness. But anyway, but your experience is going to be one of a kind when you walk in here, and I want that experience. And this is 100% guarantee. When you walk into the Canton, when you walk into the Roswell location, it's going to be the same exact experience. And I want to thank you guys, because you guys are going to be the ones that help us create that. You guys have gave us the blueprint to do that, and you guys are going to be the ones that help in those locations.
Boom.
Yep, that's all I got.
Do you got what do you guys want to say? And then can you get questions? I feel like people are commenting questions. What do you guys?
No,
wanna
it's
say?
just Emily Cipra saying, I don't know why it's putting mad faces. LOL.
Oh,
I never saw it, but it's okay.
That's awesome. I think that just to reiterate what Matt was saying, and I think it's, for me, obviously, I came in, I've been here for about a year, and one of the biggest things that I noticed was I walked in and everybody said hi to me. I was like, oh, okay, that they're nice. And that's just not how it is typically when you go to a gym and you're the new person walking in. And so that is my goal, is for everybody when they walk in is to feel that same way, is to be able to have, multiple people walk up and say, hey, how are you? Great work. And it's amazing. Even the other day, and it's not like, once you feel like, you're in. I literally the other day was doing with the PVC pipe over my head. And Carrie wasn't even coaching, and she and just says, wow, Amber, great form. It's like, oh, thanks. And then someone else, Ashley's like, you look so skinny today. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I came today. But I do remember the very first time where someone came up, it was Melissa, and she came up and she played with my hair. Now I know not everybody's touchy-feely, but I am definitely a physical touch. So her playing and touching my hair, I was like, oh, she likes me. And but just those little moments where from the beginning until even now that I still need that. And so because I know I still need it, I know that you guys still need it. And that is my job as member services, is to make sure that we just continue to have that mindset and attitude of we really are making people feel better and be better.
yeah. I mean, dude, I get people all the time. They're like, people are so nice here. And I'm always like, where do you hang out? Where do you go? And it really boils down to the culture and the environment, because fitness is an equalizer. Fitness does not care how tall you are, the color of your skin, if you're gay or straight, how much money you make. Think of all the things, what church you go to, all the things that would segregate you outside of here naturally, or whether you do it on purpose or not on purpose, whatever. How many burpees can you do in 5 minutes? Mm-hmm. And that really equalizes people really, really quick. And if you put them in a supportive environment, when more than likely outside of here, they're not in a supportive environment, they think they're miserable at their job. They think their kids hate them. They're, just list all the things that are frustrating and traffic and whatever. And then you get to come to the strong side. And it's if I can just go today, then that will make me feel amazing. Yeah. And you can't just be like, oh, we had a class today. No. What was our experience? How easy was it for you to get here? What are our coaches like? You see how we keep going back to each of these guys' job and what they're in charge of? It's a freaking ship, and it runs because of what they do.
Yeah, and I mean, the gym, you're more than welcome. If you need to escape to get away from someone, there's these lovely couches. You can come hang out whenever, between the hours of 5 and 9, Monday through Thursday.
Anything outside that, you just can't leave.
You just can't leave.
You're slumber party.
Yeah, you're just stuck inside.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we have about 3% battery left because I didn't plug the computer in and it can't die if the podcast is over.
So Mike Riggio said you guys should stream a weekly podcast. It called it the Wads Up Woodstock Podcast.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks. I like that name. But we are actually going to start doing a podcast. You'll probably 2 a month.
I don't know. Honestly, I know it's just the beginning, but we've been getting a lot of good feedback. I feel like people are starting to, I was thinking about this a lot yesterday and today. People are really starting to choose how they consume content. And what I mean by that is people are I started thinking about, because a lot of our members have deleted their Facebook because of the constant negativity on Facebook. Whether it's, whatever, but constant negativity. They'll kind of go to Instagram because it's faster, but what they're really doing is they're searching for sources to get their information. And a lot of them are liking podcasts because they can say, I choose to listen to this. It's not so-and-so telling me how much she hates so-and-so. It's, I'm going to choose to listen to this. I'm going to listen for an extended period of time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, huh. So since we started this podcast, last episode, it's a lot of people have really liked the idea. So I'm like, okay, fine. It literally takes 5 minutes to set this thing up. I'll do one every week. We can, whatever.
That's pretty cool. I like the setup. I just can't wait to have an office.
Yeah. Working on it. So, hey, the mission here, and I hope you guys don't see anything different, is we love you. We all want to work with you. We are just trying to help you be your best self. Nobody's going anywhere. Nobody's going anywhere. Nobody is, the quality of the service isn't happening or decreasing. Nothing's happening. We're just growing as a family. We're thinking of you first. We've been talking about this for 3 or 4 months. It'll be 4 or 5 months before the next one even opens. We're going to test everything out here. You're going to meet everybody. All we're doing is thinking of you.
True. Mm-hmm. Any important decisions will be ran through you guys first. Well, second, after us, and then you guys.
I don't know. I mean, they control the answer. So.
That is true. You guys ultimately say yes or no.
I mean, the schedule, think of it all the way down the schedule. When's the schedule? Not built around when it's convenient for us, because we wouldn't start until about 2 o'clock in the afternoon if it was for me. It's built around you, right? So
true.
There's that. All right, man. We got 1% battery left. Thank you so much for tuning in. Really appreciate it, and hope you enjoyed the podcast.
Bye,
Thank
guys.
you. Bye.
It's been fun.
We love you.
See you next time.